Hello, everyone, and a very good afternoon to you all. Welcome to the Digital Dialogue. Today's discussion will be focusing on voices for change, engaging men and women to end gender based violence. My name is Edon Emmanuel, and I have the privilege and honor to moderate today's engagement. Today, we are gathered here on the 16 days of gender based violence. Gender based violence is not only a violation of human rights, but further a barrier to development, dignity, and equality. Today we are here gathered to co-create solutions to this deadly vice. And joining me on this discussion is a panel of distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, whom I'm going to give this privilege to introduce themselves. I will start with the lady on my right, then the gentleman will come last.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. My name is Tushemeli Rishadia, and I serve on the EU Sounding Board.
Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much, our dear viewer. My name is Paul Collins. I serve on the EU Sounding Board Season 2. I come from the service. Happy to be.
All right. Thank you so much, my distinguished panel. Ladies and gentlemen, our goal is simple: to create a space that is respectful, that can engage a constructive dialogue as we tackle today's discussion. And I would love to pose my very first question to the gentleman who has just shared with us, who comes from Bulisa. Kawa, as a man, what beliefs or barriers did you have to unlearn in order to better understand the realities faced by women and girls experiencing gender-based violence?
Thank you so much, Honorable Moderator. I would like first to put some brief flesh on what we call GBV or gender-based violence. So we know that gender-based violence basically comes from threats which are directed to people based on their gender-based or their biological sex. So women basing on men or the female or male. So some of the beliefs I had to unlearn are relating to gender-based violence, which is always directed or faced by women and girls. First of all, during my growing up in a village, rural village in the Bulisa district, first of all, I witnessed a lot of community stereotypes whereby in my community, we believe that men are superior, and that was one of the leading causes of gender-based violence, more especially in the Bulisa district and the district I've always been into. So growing up in such environment, men were always at ahead, all men were always at the top, and the society gave them that power, and they would also override on rights of women and girls. So I had first unlearned this knowledge of understanding that men are superior. So for now I know that both men and women were equal and were entitled to the same opportunities. So that is the first behavior I had first unlearned when it came to understanding challenges faced by women and girls. First of all, in my upbringing, I grew up more in a chaotic way, and so growing up in a village whereby you could even move everywhere, you have no guiding principles. So we grew up experiencing a lot of violence. So, and due to that upbringing, I lacked that element of empathy. I grew up knowing that the world starts at me and ends with me, Cody. So I wouldn't even mind about what other people are facing. Whenever you tell someone this problem, I grew up with sisters, whenever they would share their problem, I'd be like, that is none of my business. So that one gave me that leeway of understanding society in a different way. So I had first unlearned that note. From that perspective, I got to know that, wait, if this is being done to my sister, what if she was done to me? So I started coming up with that element of putting myself in other people's shoes to understand challenges they face. And that one has really helped me to understand, even to come up and start advocating for women's rights. So another thing, when I was growing up, even I was so judgmental as a young boy, even as a young man. So whenever a girl will face any challenge, say a girl has been raped, maybe from a night, this could be like, this lady is also over more. So I'll take it not as my responsibility. I'll just be like, any form of violence these ladies face or women face, it's literally attributed to their bad acts. It could be either racing court or someone who are depressed partly. So I wouldn't even put myself into that person's shoes. So I was so judgmental. Whenever they would tell anything negative about women, so I would always be judgmental. So, and coming up in that lifestyle, it really gave me that new way of understanding things concerning gender-based violence, that's on the women's issue. But when I was introduced to the idea of understanding these different challenges women face and even what they go through, I came to realize that, wait, there is need of us to change as men. So here right now, I can call upon all young men to come up and start fighting for this so-called gender-based violence, which is killing our sisters and mothers slowly. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ka, for that elaborate beliefs that you have unlearned. I get to realize from your discussion that breaking stereotype is one of the attributes that you had to unlearn, and putting forward the aspect of equality being very key, but also being non-judgmental is one of the key factors that has played a very big role, and having empathy, which is a trait that a good person should usually have. I want to move over and shift the discussion to my dear sister, Shadia. Shadia, I want you to give me your 2 cents on what is your perspective? What forms of gender-based violence are most overlooked or normalized in our society today, and why do you think so?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. Most of the forms of violence that women actually face and young girls, they rotate mainly on 3 aspects. One and the most that is going beyond and overboard is emotional abuse. By here, I mean the other gender. It belittles the young girls and women. They manipulate them. They humiliate them. They isolate them actually from their friends so that they are kept in a shadow of not knowing what is going on in the whole world. And also withholding emotional support. Women thrive on affection and love. They need to be comforted. For example, a woman has given birth and you just leave them in the house without giving them that emotional support. So it is abuse that is directed to the young women and men. Mr. Moderator, another form of GBV that women are facing is economic control. Economic control is that some women are denied to work by their spouses, and those ones who make it to working, some of them, their salaries are taken away. And that is very sad. In this 21st century, we shouldn't be experiencing that. And also the man controlling all the spending in the house, in the household. And the woman has no say about how money is supposed to be spent. So you see, if I'm bringing the money on the table and then you don't allow me to have a discussion on how this money is going to be spent, you're abusing me. You're abusing me. And also, we also have sexual harassment. It is wild and it is so bad. So men feel that they have, they're entitled actually they feel like they can have sex with any woman at any point they want without having full consent from this young lady or young woman. So just a moderator, I feel what causes all this, it goes back to the cultural setting, the patriarchal setting, whereby men were trained that they are overall leaders, they can do whatever they want, they can't be accountable to the other counterparts, to the other fellows. So I feel like the patriarchal setting is the most cause of all this GBV that we are seeing that is going well.
Thank you. Thank you, Shadia. I get to pick that women thrive in affection, and that is an interesting bit of it that I think after this whole conversation, you'll give me more insights on that aspect. However, I pick also something very, very, very crucial that men need to stop belittling women. But also, in the context of today, gender-based violence only does not affect women alone. It's a two-way traffic. And it's been evident, despite the fact that men have chosen to always keep quiet. Now, I want to pose a question to Kawa. Kawa, what do you think men need to do differently, individually and collectively, to become true allies in preventing violence in our communities? As we've just heard from Shadia share with us that men always want to be superior and make the ladies feel inferior. And in your first submission, you said that one of the things you had to unlearn was breaking the society stereotype and ensuring that equality is key. So I want you to give me your thoughts on what you think men need to do differently and collectively in ensuring that we end this dead device that is affecting our society today.
Thank you so much, Emma. First of all, we be in a society whereby we have those men from pre-op. First of all, I see that there is need of us men and the general community to engage younger boys, because these are the younger boys who grow up become men. So we need to engage them at a young age so that they should grow up knowing that women deserve respect and they deserve equal treatment. So when we engage these younger boys, when they grow and when they start up families, so we shall not experience GBV since they will be introduced to aspect of sharing responsibility within their families. Another thing, there's also that aspect. There should be, as men, we should also share responsibilities. We should also share responsibilities. Like in our families, men, we should share responsibility. You know, that men should also engage in playing some domestic chores whereby helping their women, like even carrying a baby. So if men get involved into this, we shall see that this aspect of gender-based violence will always be overcome. Then there's also, we need to call out to toxic masculinity, whereby with understanding the aggressive nature of men, we should just put it aside. So we should make sure that men, we should raise up men in a way that they should be humble, disciplined, not aggressive as society dictates. Because traditionally, in Western Uganda, where I happen to come from, for us, we believe that a man is supposed to head the family at all costs. So we should put that statement, or we should put that saying aside and focus on sharing responsibilities or calling out to toxic masculinity. So we need also to have model healthy relationships whereby men should start up having the healthy relationships with their spouses in a way that when you have an unhealthy relationship, it will be quite hard for you to experience violence. It could be there, but it may not be so extreme in a way that you can maybe end up endangering someone socially or psychologically, because GBV is in different forms, as my colleague just alluded to. So there is also, we need also to get involved in doing initiatives that promote peace in families, whereby men should also get involved into all spaces that help in promoting peace in their families. We should also support, there is a need to support survivors by not victimizing them. So like if someone maybe was expressed, say, gender-based violence in him or her family, we should take it as a laughing stock in the entire community. We should create ways of accommodating these people and giving them that comfortable environment where they can thrive and succeed. So we should also believe, we should listen, believe, and should judge. So when someone shares his experience, maybe the person once expressed gender-based violence, you should listen, you should believe in the person, and you shouldn't be judgmental, because sometimes in our communities, we are always so judgmental. And if we try the above, we can really prevent gender-based violence or violence in our community. Thank you so much, Honorable Craig.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Kawa, for that reflection that you've given to us on our individual and collective responsibility that we have to take as men. However, I picked 2 or 3 more important points from your discussion. That engagement is very key, and it should be the first entry point if we are to tackle this deadly vice that is disturbing us in our society today. However, you also mentioned the aspect of shared responsibility. As I walked into his room for today's session, I got to see 2 mothers, and I was impressed by the way the gentlemen were taking care of the babies in the building. And I want to thank my audience for sharing the responsibility that Kawa is talking about. But also, most importantly, as a society, we always need to resist from character assassination, usually whenever we have victims of gender-based violence. And that said, I would love to pose my final question to my sister Shadia to share with us what support systems or interventions have you seen truly empower survivors, and what gaps still exist that we should address?
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. There have been trauma-informed counsel sessions that have been given to the law enforcement officers. I'm talking about police, people in the courts of law, and also the community, especially religious leaders. And I feel that now there's awareness amongst them, because now they have known what trauma means. They have interacted with the victims. They understand the effects of trauma. So when these victims actually come to them, they now know how to go about the situation compared to the last decades. The judging is kind of shifting a little bit, though we need to do more efforts. But now for sure, these trainings have really helped, and I wish we can carry them forth and at a wild coverage in the country. And also there has been accessible legal aid, especially from different organizations, that women can actually go to their offices and access help. For example, we have FIDA, it has been giving help, which is free. And I believe that it has caused more positive change, and I could advocate for more of that. And I feel that the government could also inject more funds into that. And also some different development partners have gone far into providing safe shelters for the people who are affected, who have been violated. And I feel like it has been doing well. So these women, they have somewhere they can run to, like first aid. When something happens to you, you need someone who can comfort you in that moment, because if you're not serious, you can actually take your life. So I feel it has been good. And we also have community networks. Those are circles of women that have been able to empower each other. Now they know they actually encourage each other to speak up. If you're facing violence at any point, speak up. Don't keep quiet, because the more you keep quiet, the more it is going to drown you into mental health issues. So I feel those have been able to help. Moving on forward, you also asked the existing gaps that are there.
Yes, please.
And it's a quite reality situation whereby women are limited. They cannot easily access economic support. You see, once someone has gone through GBV, they need to be empowered. Now the women who are being denied work and all that, they need startup capitals, they need little grants, they need that economic support that could be coming from either the government or development partners. So I feel that is still limiting. And if we can call upon development partners, please please give the women and the young girls who are, or everyone who is facing gender-based violence, some economic support that they can fit on themselves and life can be good. Another challenge that is still underlying is the undertrained law enforcement officers. There are still gaps. Like, for example, when a woman goes to maybe a police station and she says that she has been abused by her husband, actually the fellow women at the police station are the ones to first criticize her. They're like, why have you come to report him? Because you're going to go back eventually. He's going to beat you more. He's not going to give you support. You feel like the trainings should go further to all polling police stations, so that these law enforcement officers, once they receive a victim of gender-based violence, they can be helped, they can be comforted, so that we can have this vice being, reduced. Yes, and also there is limited access to services in rural areas. Like, for example, where I come from Kabale, but a few organizations are there to give such help, and government is not doing so much. But we would request that please give us services, give us pro bono services to the rural people, because actually they are the ones face more of these GBV forms. Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shadia, for sharing with me your thoughts on what has been done and what gaps are still missing. And I choose to believe that despite collective effort, these barriers will still exist, but it's your responsibility and my responsibility to ensure that we join hands and combat this deadly problem that is affecting our society. And I would love to open the discussion to my audience. You've been so wonderful, and your contribution is going to be very paramount in shaping the narrative of gender-based violence in this country. I would love you to share with us your insights in your communities where you come from. Perhaps some of you have experiences. Feel free to share with us. And we are in the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, and it's very important that we hear from our audience. I will take 2 or 3, and I'll get back to my panel to give their parting shots, and we call it a wrap. So over to you, my audience. Yes, we have a gentleman this side, and I've seen 2 ladies at the back. Those are the hands I will take.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, first of all, Mr. Moderator, Emmanuel, and our 2 wonderful panelists. I think GBV, or gender-based violence, as they call it, is a very sad reality of our society today. And I'm looking at religious institutions, which is probably one of the biggest places where most people gather as an institution to disseminate information that can be used to fight GBV. However, there is something so sad about these institutions in the way that there are religious doctrines that almost hinder some of these institutions to even talk about gender-based violence. So I don't know if what do you think maybe, I'm posing this to our panelists, like what do you think can be done to address this, like to make sure that the people who hate these institutions maybe get to know that it's not a crime or it's not a sin to talk about gender-based violence in a church, in a mosque, or in other religious places of worship. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dennis. Let's listen to the ladies at the back. Lady, the glasses.
Thank you very much to the panel and to the moderator. My question would be, we have quite a rise of many young women or even young girls being victims of gender-based violence, especially those that tend to get married earlier, and due to a number of reasons. Some of them is because they're entirely independent on their spouse or whatever it is. They're financially incapacitated, what could be the solutions or preventative measures that you as a panel today would advise us, especially to the various women that are in that, and what could be probably a word you give to them, especially the women that would be listening in to you today or listening into this show about the situation they are living in. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. We'll take one last one.
Well, thank you very much. Mine is not a question, but rather a recommendation, rather. So, most times when you talk about GBV, men think that we are only talking about women. And the sad bit of it is that there are a number of men who are also facing GBV, but they keep silent. And this is because the society will always judge a man who comes to report that he is facing GBV. And it actually, even if a man goes to police to report this case, I have also witnessed it. The police will first laugh at you and be like, even you, why can't you be a man? So this is something that is serious, and we need to normalize the conversation, especially with the men. Please report. You see, the reason as to why today there is elimination of gender-based violence among women and girls is because of reporting. So if you don't report, they are not going to be aware of the challenges that you are facing, and no solutions are going to be taken towards ending violence among men. And also something that we should talk about right now is the level of digital violence. It is so high in Uganda currently that in 2021, the report from UBO stated that 49% of women experience violence, digital violence. I'm then imagining now that social media usage has increased. Aren't we really not up to 70%? Because a number of girls are being violated, harassed, especially now women in politics. They use AI to create bad videos or bad images of you, and that is really so tarnishing. And you find that people are shying away, people are turning down from participating in these spaces that are supposed to raise the voices of women. So I think this is something that we should be advocates for. Colleagues, let us encourage people, or maybe even find ways of ending digital violence, because it's really, really, really a very big vice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I would love to get back to my panel. And I would love Shadia to take on the question that was asked by Dennis on the role of religious leaders. And one of the measures he talked about was the role of religious leaders in trying to combat this, and it raises a very pertinent issue. And I would love you to respond to his question.
Thank you so much. Dennis, thank you for raising that issue. You know, it is happening, that it has been happening. Religious leaders have been mute about violence, or about actually very many issues. Most of the times they have been minding their business. And when it comes to violence and gender-based violence, there have been an enlightenment. For example, especially what I know about personally is Christian fellowships. They're encouraging women or anyone who is facing violence to come out and talk. For example, the Mothers Union, they always have meetings. They're not so often, but they are now, coming to the reality that this is a vice that is taking up our our population. And so what needs to be done is to take it to other religions, born agains, how they say that you have to be strong in the Lord, you have to wait it upon the Lord, that those who wait on the Lord, they shall not faint, they shall not weary. Now, in some parts of religions, it is shifting because they have seen, for example, the popular Nigerian gospel singer who died because of gender-based violence. So after we've seen these scenarios, now their mind is shifted. And they are saying, if the mind is eating you, please go away. God will understand. So I feel it's something they're now, talking about, unlike the previous years. So thank you so much. And also, people are coming out. We have Interreligious Council of Uganda. They are pushing down to understand that it is not a good thing to protect perpetrators of gender-based violence. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I think it's really very important that the religious leaders, despite your affiliation, be it Christian, Muslim, Orthodox, that we have to play a very central role and crucial role in ensuring that we ensure that this issue is tackled rigorously. Just like she said, the later Sinachi, our wife to a pastor, died because of gender-based violence. This is someone who is in charge. So it's something that really, beats and perturbs my mind sometimes how to understand. But I want to move to Kawa. Belinda raises a very pertinent issue. And I want you to give us your thoughts on her question.
Thank you so much, Emma. Belinda raised an issue right now about girls chasing gender-based violence. She was highlighting girls who both make the would marry at a younger age. What advice can I give to her? First of all, in our respective communities, we have GP with the faro pathways whereby when you are faced with maybe any form of violence or any form of any abuse, whereby you can easily run and report. First of all, what I can tell these young girls, first of all, your life or your safety first. So you can't stay in that relationship when you don't have a hand. You can't stay in that relationship when you don't have your hair. So when you're in such a situation, first of all, you need to speak up and you need to report. And what I can tell to young girls and younger boys, so that when you report making any violation, it doesn't mean you are a weak man or you are a waste woman. Reporting is one way of knowing your rights as an individual. So first of all, what I can tell them is to report. We have different reporting mechanism. However, we have a Women of Uganda network has an online gender-based violence spot where you can easily go and they report any form of violation, or even they can give you psychosocial support depending on the kind of abuse you're facing. So first of all, there are also different women-led initiatives, and there are also not only even women-led, but there are also many organizations which are advocating for human rights. You can easily report, and you can also get psychosocial support. So I recommend these young girls and boys out there, you can go out and get psychosocial support in form of counseling, because we need your life and you're gonna lose your life. So you can't attain your full potential when you're being violated, because a toxic relationship may ruin your entire life. So it's better you be safe.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really want to appreciate my panel for the elaborative responses that given to the questions. But I want to draw my discussion one final time on the issue raised by Prudence. And she talks about the aspect of digital violence. And today we're having a digital dialogue, and she has given statistics of about 49% as of 2021, and we are in 2025 today. So I want to pick your thoughts one final time, my panelists. What are your thoughts on digital violence? Because in the era of technological advancements, we are seeing that artificial intelligence has taken shape, and deepfakes are here, left, right, center. And the government has even put interventions in place. We have the Computer Misuse Act in place. I want you to give me, in 1 minute or less, what your thoughts are on digital violence and how best can we navigate to ensure that we take charge over this gender-based violence.
Okay. This year's theme, the global theme, has been Unite to End Digital Violence Against All Women and Girls. So there has been a step. Globally, they agreed that, you know what, digital violence towards women and girls is at a high rampant rate. So there have been interventions. What I would say is, if you notice that someone is harassing you online, block, report. Yeah. And also, I would also encourage young girls and women, because you know you're a target, we can also choose and know where am I on social media. I'm there for a business branding, personal branding, or entertainment, and understand the content you're going to put out there. It's not about victim blaming right now. It's about you taking charge of your social media presence and knowing why you are there. So, Miss Monica, there has been interventions, and also some platforms on social media, like for example, Instagram, there is a language you cannot use. You cannot use it there. Even on Twitter, you see, you cannot use certain languages on Twitter as long as they can capture it in the official languages. So there has been interventions. Even on TikTok, we can't use certain languages.
Yes, Kawa, in less than 50 seconds, please.
Thanks so much. In regards to what Claudine Odes raised, she first talked about even men are candidates of gender-based violence. Yes. So we shouldn't leave out men when we're this case. But I totally agree with you, but that men also face this type of violence. As we know, some TV personality is also undergoing some sort of virus, I don't have to nip on the names. Yes. However, what I can say about this, first of all, about online gender-based violence, and now I can only be an advice to us parents, people, and also everyone listening to me out there. It's our responsibility, first of all, to mind the kind of content we share with our colleagues. You have a phone, it has a password. I don't know if your phone has a password. It doesn't guarantee you security. Someone might even take it, get into your account, access your photos, or you are not. So you should mind about the type of content you pick on your guided. So because anytime, any day, someone can easily run out with your phone, access your contents, and it becomes an issue tomorrow. So what I can end with, first of all, I want to call upon the open discussions, more especially about gender-based violence. It's on record that men are the perpetrators. I don't think that women are not perpetrators. They are, but men think we take the lead. So first of all, we need to speak more about GBV in male-dominated spaces. Second, that first of all, us as men, we need to over the top. Let's advocate for a peaceful community whereby everyone is free and everyone is happy. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Shadia, in less than 30 seconds, give us your parting shots.
Survivors do not need our doubts. They need our comfort, they need our reassurance, and they need our help. So everyone who is watching us, I encourage us that once you meet a victim of gender-based violence, whether male or female, don't doubt them. Believe them, help them. They can seek help in a comforting environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our goal is simple: to create a safe, respectful, and engaging space where we can share and highlight innovative approaches in ending and amplifying our commitment towards ending gender-based violence. It's been lovely having all of you join us today for today's digital dialogue. I want to thank on a very special note my panel. They have been so eloquent and have given us their perspectives. My name is Edon Emmanuel. Thank you. Till we meet again.